We're the Whiskey Sippers, and this month we have Patrick with us for a bottle haul.
Honorary sipper after this.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us. If you haven't already, go down, hit that subscribe button, hit your notification bell. We post videos 3 times a week, so we got a lot of content out there. As you who have watched the channel know, Devin is gone. He has been deployed. He is serving in the military, so we have an honorary little Devin with us while he's gone.
Thank you for your service, Devin.
But I'm going to have people filling in because I don't want to sit here by myself. I feel like an idiot. So, so this month I'm going to have Patrick and some others doing videos, and this is going to be our February bottle haul,
which is really financially irresponsible. We got a lot of bottles this month.
I do want to make an addendum. So our January bottle haul, when Devin and I did it, we did it right before the last week of January because he was getting ready to leave. We wouldn't have time to film again. And unfortunately, there was a huge drop in Ohio, which we'll show that last week of January. So this is really February and the last week of January bottle haul.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, why don't you go ahead and get started?
Yeah, I'll get started. So comboing a little bit of January, I was able to get a number of different bottles, and I'll start with one particular distillery in particular. I know this is a favorite of Devin's, and I figured this is a good way to start. So I got a Four Roses 2024 limited edition release. 2 local groups that are in the Akron area in northeastern Ohio were able to do Four Roses picks. One is an OESO, 9 years, 10 months. And then the other one is an OESQ, which is 9 years, 8 months. So pretty similar in age statements right there. And then I also, thanks to Todd, was able to actually get one of the newer recipes for Four Roses. I know I personally need 1 more left of the barrel strengths, and I need now 2 more of these for these recipes. I'll let you go.
All right. So the last week of January, we got caught kind of by surprise, and Stagg dropped here in Ohio. It became Stagg Week. So that's why I'm going to make sure I include that in this month's because it wasn't in our January haul. But we had all 4 batches of Stagg, A, B, C, and D, released from 2024 drop at one time. And I already had A's, but our area where I'm at right here anyway, there weren't any A's dropping anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I already had them. But I did get a batch B, a batch C, and a batch D. So I ended up with all 4 batches of Stagg from last year because that dropped at the end of January. So that was kind of my first grab for this haul.
Great start. I'm going to echo that. So Stagg Week happened. It also dropped a very special bottle in addition to the Staggs. But I will kind of replicate what Todd did. I managed to get the 24D, the 24C on my own. And then I actually was able to trade, because I know they've kind of been on the market secondary, for the 24B, because I could only be so many places at once with work, and then the 24A as well. So I managed to get all 4, plus the other big boy that was able to drop a E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Batch 13. So Stagg Week was very good to me, in addition to the couple of trades I was able to do to kind of get the rest of the lineup. So I'm super pumped. I never had the entire variances dropped for me, so I was super pumped about that.
Yeah. So Stagg Week, it's pretty good for me.
Great week
as well, right? I mean, I got B, C, and D, but I also got backups of B, C, and D. And I already had 2 of the 24 batch A's, so I ended up with a bottle and a backup for the entire Stagg batch because so much dropped in Ohio that last week of January.
Yeah, not that lucky for me, household of 1 for me, but I was able to at least get what I got, and I'm very excited about that, and going to crack them open for some future golf trips, so cannot wait. Another thing that I was able to do, I did go obviously hunting a little bit when we did our trip to go pick up our new Riff pick, which we'll get to in a little bit, but I was able to stop by that famous Buffalo Trace distillery, got a Blanton's. I also got a John J. Bowman I saw on one of the shops out there. Just for funsies. I know it is the land of Weller here in Ohio, but I did get one actually at a Kroger in Kentucky. So that was kind of unique and different. First time I ever bought a Weller outside of Ohio. And then in addition to kind of cap it off with the last two, I was able to finish the whole 4-drop vertical of the Eagle Rare as well as the small batch, thanks to Todd. So I did get a pretty good lineup of Buffalo Trace products.
Now the Weller you got that in Kentucky, right?
I did. I got it when I was doing some other bottles.
And you also got a Stag at the same time.
And I did get a Stag. Yeah, I got the 24C.
And how did you know?
So there's this great, wonderful person called Renee, who's Todd's wife. I decided to leave earlier to go do our pickup for the barrel pick to get our bottles. And I was like, I'm going to try to hit Buffalo Trace. I'm going to try to hit maybe Four Roses and hit Wild Turkey as well. And as I'm close to the Kentucky border, about a half hour away, Renee shoots a text saying, hey, go to this Kroger and maybe you get lucky. And I ended up getting very lucky. I got 2 of the bottles shown here, right to the back. I got this and one of the Stags, and then another one down here, which we'll get to in a minute. But I was going to say that story for a little bit later, but go ahead, ruin the fun.
All right. So during Stag Week, not only did Stag drop, as Patrick alluded to earlier, E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof dropped as well.
Yep.
And I was fortunate enough not to miss out on that.
Yeah.
So I did get E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Batch 13. I got 2 of them, so I was able to get one in a backup.
That's awesome. And we have cracked one of those open already.
Yes, one of these is open.
Yeah, and
sure
it is phenomenal. And
this is the one that's open. Yeah.
Yeah, good guess. We were also idiots, and we did a tasting of batch 11, 12, and 13. And then we preceded that with batches A, B, C, and D of Stag.
Yeah. And that was after already opening the 1924 and Old Fits.
Yeah. So it was a lot. And actually, speaking of 1924, I was actually able to get a 1924, which was pretty awesome. I actually got this from one of our Patreon members, Keith. And then I actually bought another one to get for a friend, Paul, also known as That Bourbon Guy. So a little point is really important. So yeah, I ended up getting that. But in addition to the Four Roses theme, Keith also was able to get me the Four Roses barrel strength one from the Paddock Bourbon Club.
Old Forester.
Old Forester, I apologize. At the Paddock Bourbon Club. And this was their 2024 release. So pretty awesome stuff there. And then 2 other friends were actually able to kind of help me out and point me in directions for getting the new Penelope Weeded release, which I think was like $36 compared to the 40, so a little bit cheaper than normal MSRP. And this is actually a bottle I got last night, the Smoke Hill Eye. I was very fortunate. I had a sample of it and said, sign me up. And one of my friends did a mass order online, so we got free shipping, and super pumped to get that. So and it's delicious for a 5-year blue corn product.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as Patrick mentioned, we did go down and pick up our Whiskey Sippers barrel pick from New Riff that we did. We did the pick in January. We picked it up in February. So I do have my bottles from that pick. Now, I have more than one. I've only got one here. I've got a couple others set back. But so we picked up our barrel pick.
Yep.
While we were down there, I also went ahead and grabbed the Bardstown Weeded. I held off on that for a long time because I was like, okay, everybody says it's so great. But I've had other Bardstown people said were great. I didn't particularly care for. And then someone gave me a sample of this, and it actually is really good.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and grabbed a bottle when we were down there in Kentucky. And then Brad helped me get this 375 of Blanton's to complete the collection. I now have it spelled out in the big bottles and the 375s. So that was the last letter I needed.
Crazy. Well, kind of continuing that train for some other bottles before we get into my picks from New Riff. I did manage to get the same bottle as well. I heard great things. Tried to sample at a bottle share. Probably don't remember a thing about it, but I just remember I kept sipping it. So
it was good.
I figured I should probably get it. So I did that. And then I also cracked this open for the live stream we did when we did the night before the barrel pick. And I bought another one of these, but this is one I brought that's open. So I figured might be drinking it. The IW Harper discontinued, and I am a big fan of it for being just a lower proof one, $35. Being discontinued, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoy it. One I know that Todd has been looking to try, the Redwood Empire Screaming Titan Weeded.
Yeah, I do need to try that.
So we're probably going to be drinking that here shortly, but I got that, and as you can see, it's pretty delicious. I think I only opened this one time. This is what we drank that one day. So pretty good start to a pour. And then I got a very special bottle that I've been eyeing for a while. I managed to find it on some of my travels for the last week of January. So it just qualified, but I did get an Old Fitz 2024 release decanter bottle. I've been looking for this for a while. It's a 10-year, but this is a special bottle that I've been looking for a while, and I'm finally glad to say I got it. A little more than MSRP, maybe about $60 or $70 more.
That's not bad,
but still
bad. It's only about
really pumped to just find it. And I was like, it's at the in between. Should I buy it? And I was like, well, I just got a commission check, so yeah, I'm gonna buy it. That was a spoil to myself.
All right, so just a couple, over the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of Penelope drop in Ohio, like some of the new releases of Penelope. And we've managed, at least my wife and I managed to grab a couple. The Penelope Havana, the rum finished. Personally, I didn't particularly care for it. It's very, very rum heavy. I mean, it tastes like a rum to me.
I loved it.
But my wife liked it, so we got a bottle because she enjoyed it. So we picked that up, and then we picked up one that I'm very excited that I got this week. And it is the Penelope 17-year American Light Whiskey. I've really been on a American Light Whiskey kick lately. The Kings and the Penelope 15-year, the last year's
15
release.
years is really good.
Yeah, they're both fantastic. So I'm thinking I really like American Light Whiskey, and I've been looking for some more. So I'm glad I was able to grab this year's release, 17-year.
Yep. All right. So for my last couple or few bottles that I got, part of the reason why we went down to Kentucky obviously was for our barrel pick. So I have mine. I placed my sticker a little higher because I want to showcase it's a whiskey sippers pick. So I put mine up here, but super pumped to obviously get this bottle and be a part of the pick and have everything that happened with it, and great success for it. But because it was at New Riff, that suckered me into some bottles that were from New Riff. So
New Riff, I'm a New Riff fan.
I am too. I have been for a while. But I know one of the things that was super special is their winter whiskey for their winter release. So I managed to get this during Stag Week. It was a consolation prize as a bottle that if you didn't get Stag, you were able to get this. So the first place I went to, this was my trophy that I got to take home, and I was super pumped about it. But I did also manage to get a very special Balboa rye release. It's been essentially postponed for a number of years due to
they didn't have the grains.
The grain was kind of grain shortage. So because of that, I was able to get that when we went there to pick up the bottles. They had the special release. And then last but not least, I got the 2024 Silver Grove pick that they did for 2024. And I'm just super pumped to finally say I have one. I've drank a little bit of Todd's over the years that he's collected, and I've just been a big fan of them, so decided that'd be a good idea to try to get my own instead of drink his under the table. But yeah, these were all my bottle picks, so I know you got some more left.
I got my last little section here. When we went and did our barrel pick in Kentucky, or picked up our barrel pick in Kentucky, we went to spent the night in Frankfurt, and the next morning we went to Buffalo Trace. And then from Buffalo Trace, we headed over to Louisville before headed back up to do a meetup with Cask 529 and Bourbon and Balls. So while we were at Buffalo Trace that day, they released the E.H. Taylor small batch.
So what I got, so thank you.
Yeah, so we picked up 2 of those. I got one for Patrick, then I kept one because I recently killed the one I had open. And I do have a backup, but now I'm going to if I'm going to open my backup, I got to get another backup. So I had to get another one. And then we were lucky enough when we got to Louisville, we kind of struck out at Old Forester and we struck out at Michter's, but we stopped at Evan Williams. And we stopped there because it was the day after Valentine's Day. and they had like a special party the night before or something, and they had these Sweetheart bottles. So it's just a regular Evan Williams single barrel. It's just a special kind of sticker, and it's signed by the master distiller.
Yep.
So we went ahead and grabbed one of those, but then we found out they still had a couple of their Derby bottles.
Yeah, these are sweet.
Now this one I didn't know anything about at the time, but once I started talking to the guy, these are 106 proof Evan Williams single barrels, whereas typically they're 80 proof or 86.6.
Yeah, and they're in the 80s.
Yeah, so 106 proof Evan Williams single barrel. I'm actually pretty excited to open this and give it a try. I want to see what a higher proof Evan Williams single barrel tastes like. So
yeah, pretty cool. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, that was my last 3 grabs for the month. So that was my bottle haul for February.
Either way, financially irresponsible, but a lot of good juice to share with a lot of good friends.
Yeah.
So I think that's the victory.
Well, I had kind of a light December, kind of a light November. So we went a little, with the Stag and everything dropping, we had some more bottles than we've had the last few months, at least on my end.
Yeah, I've been trying to cut back, and clearly based off this video, I'm guilty. Yeah, send me straight to jail.
All right, everybody. So thanks for watching. And remember, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and like this video and let us know what you managed to pick up in February.
Yeah.
So we're really getting into that time where we're starting to release bottles, that springtime where you get a lot of releases coming out. So
or announcements for what is being released.
Yeah, so I think we're going to be seeing a lot of good bottles here over the next few months.
Absolutely. 2025 is going to be a great year for a lot of good bourbon and whiskeys, and hopefully gatherings.
Yeah.
Especially through the channel. So we definitely want to keep that going.
Yeah, we got some plans for things we're planning to do this year. So, but stay tuned for that. Watch our live streams every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Occasionally you'll see me,
Yep.
for better or for worse.
And until next time, remember, the best bourbon or whiskey
is one of these. It's one of these. It's got to be. Got to be.
Or
the
one you like the most.
The one you like the most, which could be our pick.